Okay, good evening, good morning, and good night. We cannot say good night, but yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to the Poetic Reading with Fatal Brains. And let's get started and wading through the brain of poetry, touching upon things like spirituality, peace, and humanity. Let's hear some voices from all across. And I think we could break the thing of, the routine, and we could ask our Shalini ma'am to, begin with a prayer song. And yes, Shalini ma'am, who is a spiritual pursuant, and I would like to request Shalini ma'am to go ahead with her song and spiritual prayer and poem as well. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, kindly unmute your mic. Ma'am, kindly unmute your mic. Ma'am, you could unmute your mic. I'm trying from my side. Yeah, perfect.
Can you just give me one moment then, Prasanna? Let me get the
sure.
words at least of one. Okay. Okay. Just just a few short verses, a few lines of this song which I like very much. ये मेरी अर्जी है, ये मेरी अर्जी है, मैं वैसी बन जाऊं जो तेरी मर्जी है, मैं वैसी बन जाऊं जो तेरी मर्जी है। लफ्जों का टुकड़ा है, लफ्जों का टुकड़ा है, जिक्र प्यारे का अश्कों से होता है, जिक्र प्यारे का अश्कों से होता है। छम 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 बारिश है, छम 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 बारिश है, माही घर आजा, हर बूंद सिफारिश है, माही घर आजा, हर बूंद सिफारिश है, वो इतना प्यारा है, वो इतना प्यारा है, चांद कहे उससे तू चांद हमारा है, चांद कहे उससे तू चांद हमारा है। अब और ना मन भटके, अब और ना मन भटके, मैं अखियन रख आई प्रीतम की चौखट पे। मैं खियन रख आई प्रीतम की चौखट पे। ये मेरी अर्जी है, ये मेरी अर्जी है, मैं वैसी बन जाऊं जो तेरी मर्जी है, मैं वैसी बन जाऊं जो तेरी मर्जी है, जो तेरी मर्जी है, जो तेरी मर्जी है। Thank you.
My goodness. Wow. Give it up for Shalini ma'am. Such a heartwarming and heart melting rendition. It is such a great beginning. I mean, starting, with the for the poetic recitals, really, truly, it is so
Thank you,
much of moving
Prasanna.
and
Most unprepared.
yeah, you're wiping your tears, I could see that, but yes.
I don't know what
my God.
happens. It always happens.
But
She
yes,
made me
you are
cry
free
too.
to, all are free to react, or you could. Please unmute your mic, sir. If anybody would like to react, you could unmute your mics. You could unmute yourself. Oh, it's such a moving rendition, I would say. That,
Shalini seemed to be invoking the Lord. I don't know the word, the meaning or the words, but it seems like an invocation.
Invocation.
It was haunting. It's something I'm going to carry with me throughout the day. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing it.
That was so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
It was
It's
so
just
beautiful.
about
beautiful.
a prayer to the Lord that may I become like how you wish me to become.
Oh, that's it. That's an invocation indeed. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes. Ma'am, do you have poem to present?
Me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I have a,
Please. go
just a moment. I have a prayer. I have a poem which I just wrote this afternoon. So I call it The Flute Player. I am lost in the realms of unsaid words. I am lost in the realms of unsaid words, in the labyrinth of expressions, avenues of enticing imagery, in the labyrinth of expressions, avenues of enticing imagery, which claims me again and again. I try to feel you in the sanctum sanctorum of my heart. I try to feel you in the sanctum sanctorum of my heart, but drift away into some poetic forest of whispering trees, twinkling diamonds of fireflies, the inking starless womb of the night. I drift away into some poetic forest of whispering trees, twinkling diamonds of fireflies, the inky starless womb of the night. My eyes are heavy with the blue shadows of your unshed tears, heart flooded with unceasing dewdrops of your infinite beauty, as you appear in the lingering fragrance of each word. In the lyrical cadence of my lilting song, where your dancing lotus eyes play the flute of unsung glories of the timeless truth, Your childlike innocence lift my yearning spirit. I soar higher and higher in the blue infinity of the heavens, a pure white dove set free at last. Thank you.
Excellent, ma'am. Lost in your words. Beautiful beginning. Yes, anybody would like to react, you could free to unmute yourself. Yes.
Prasanna, may I?
Yes, please, please.
Okay,
Please go
thank
ahead.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Prasanna, I'm going to present two short poems which I wrote long ago.
Yeah.
Actually, due to my heavy routines, I am unable to give much time to poetry, but I'm feeling it very deeply
Yeah.
within somewhere in my heart, and I am going to start it. As Roopali ma'am consider me every time, I'm very grateful to her for reminding me to my real passion, and she will be the one who will take me back to this side. I
Yeah.
hope so.
But before
Okay.
going ahead with your poem, just I would like to I would like you to react on Shali ma'am's. Wow.
Yeah, no, yeah, ma'am Shalini, the first, uh, the prayer you had in Hindi was very moving, and I could not stop tears in my eyes. And it is just a prayer to Bhagwan or Allah or God Almighty, Jesus Christ, forever. Yes, actually, all of us want to become according to His wish, and may we always uh, walk on the right path. And the other one is which you wrote in afternoon. I was just concentrating that in short time frame, you have written such a remarkable poem. So it means you are a born writer.
Oh my
So
God, not at all.
it was beautiful, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you
But
so much, Rita.
but generating positivity from you, and you have touched a little bit in your Hindi poem about barish or barsat or jo apne, whatever you mentioned the word. Yeah,
Tarbooj se
I
baarish hai.
yeah, exactly, and I will carry forward that. And unfortunately, we had very less rainings in the winter in Lahore this time. But whenever it rains, it is my favorite time, and I just sit in my window. I try to write something. So first poem of few lines goes for it. The title is Dancing Drops of Rainy Night. Dancing drops of rainy night, reminding me of my night. Dancing drops of rainy night, reminding me of my night, who just passed a glimpse on my sight. Not chased him ever before his flight. Desiring gracefully, not a polite. Dancing drops of a rainy night, reminding me always that there is a light. Yes, there is the light. This was the first one. And the second one is Smile, Smile, Smile. And, can everybody just pass a smile on me this time? So it's about smile, smile, smile. Give me a clap to cover the mile. As I always dreamt of standing on a sand and just walking on the shore and just try to generate something in myself. Give me a clap to cover a mile, dancing on sand with an elegant style. Love is all about care and cheer in five. My feet are ready to walk and thrive. Memories making me stronger, not fragile. Love is all about let it go and once again smile. So this was the second one. Thank you.
Wow, sweet and soft. Beautiful poems, beautiful poems. Lady, if you would like, you could just unmute your mics, please react. Wonderful presentation, Sharadi. Wonderful, wonderful reaction as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, and keep yourself busy with writings and all, and keep inspiring, and keep motivating, and that keeps us. Okay, let's move on. We have our with us very first timer, maybe I could say, but yes, she's a great writer, I would say. Right. Welcome to our show, ma'am, Somdata Mitra.
Thank you so much, Prasanna ji, and giving me this opportunity, this wonderful platform among so many talents. I'm so very happy today to be among all of you. I hail from the city of Joy, Kolkata, India, and I am basically an educationist, and I am a published writer. And here I present two of my very, very, thoughtful poems. The first one is with the title, The Moonlit Sky. I can see the moonlit night with an amulet so dazzling. The veneration and excitement enchants her, which Beethoven will agree while scaffolding. The tranquility and harmony that serenades, often with a passion and exuberance. In coronation or while participating in a cortege, the gramophone will continuously resonate the melancholy or in a high fatuli. Even the hoodlums would escape remaining the nonconformist and reconvene. The rhubarbs would be a dignified supper while enjoying their virtuoso, which proclaims him to be a stunner. The peroration would halt for a moment as the sparkling stars instill so many perplexity, and as an exponent, the perpetuous transition of emotions random influence us in a rapture. It seems a sedation. It seems in a fervor and zeal, they seem to propound their jubilations. The moon seemed to wink at them in a plethora of smiles. The sculptor scuttles here and there to pick up his clay. One tends to mesmerize in this divinity and behold those forlorn moments to forget the scurrilous tormentations in a depravity. A good spirit would always rejuvenate in such a reclusion. This beautiful moonlit night would instill so many spiritual bliss and motivate us to exceed our limitations as we gallop into a journey into the next phase with abundant aspirations. Passing to my next poem, I have given the title Addiction. I've given the title Addiction because of the fact that when somebody is fanatic about doing anything, when somebody cherishes their passion, then it becomes an addiction. So giving it a kind of simile to this, I have written this poem. In the sun-baked grasslands, as I sat with my canvas painting, I could witness the bees sucking nectar. Addicted to a creative philosophy, I indulged into a colorful oil painting. That buoyant and efficacious effort vaticinated over a vernaglia. I was engrossed in the noble work altogether. To me, it was an addiction to continue. With a magnificent painting which will be recognized by the world in a lenity, my divine soul could perceive the imbued thought over the mystifying and bold expressions. I enhanced my concentration with the fragrance. I embossed the canvas with a sylph-like maiden. Her countenance could smite her grace. Her tear-filled eyes was beauteous to cherish. In a divine and spiritual bliss, addicted to painting, I indulged in the camaraderie. With the plowboys who were engaged in a horse ride, I took the brush to appoint a color. That silent observation enhanced my power. I used some browns and golden color. I dipped the brush to ponder over the meadows and the butterflies all together. In a silent reverberation, as I used some ochre yellow, the nightingale sang a song to mesmerize me. In an awe with a mellow, that beautiful painting augmented to a ceremonious emblazon. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was powerful and very energetic, I would say. Yes, we are truly addicted to one or this or that, but yes, I would agree with you. Somdata ma'am, beautiful. Thanks for coming and
so
thanks
much.
for making us listen your wonderful verses.
It's so much pleasure being here. Thank you so much
It's
for
such a
giving
pleasure for us, ma'am, to be having you. And Miller down now. He only watches his he only watches the burning fires, changing gears, rampaging needlessly. Needlessly, I could say. Unmesh, let's unmesh life.
Oh, thanks a lot, Prasanna. And as always, I really appreciate what you are doing. I think you're doing a wonderful service to the poetry community, and I think this is very important that we all support each other, because this is this is a hobby which is a very lonely hobby. So it's better to support each other. That is very important.
In
And
fact, it's a pious hobby, sir. It's a pious hobby, divine hobby. Maybe you could say with divine addiction. Maybe it's a beautiful addiction.
but if you won't pay your bills, so that's important to understand. But yeah, thanks a lot. And I am Unmesh Mohitkar on Facebook and Instagram. I have got open mic Let's Unmesh Live every Saturday at 9 p.m. India time. Please do join if possible. That will be great. And here we go. This is a poem which I call it as an anti-love poem. So let's see. No. All is not fair in love and war. So many poems, movies, and books written about love. Love is business, love is war, love is fight, love is flight. If love goes out of fashion, the share market will tank. Love is searching in nothingness. Love, is it a reality or just a chemical reaction to add flavor to life? The kissing, the missing, the loving, the cuddling, the fighting, caring, crying, dying, waiting. Don't get me wrong. I completely get it. Falling in love, love at first sight, love without boundaries, love songs drenched in rain, love suffering in vain. All is fair in love and war. A 15th century quote, still used, misused, and abused. No. Everything is not fair in love and war. This favors the rich and the strong to hide their wrongs, sell their love songs, kick people like a ping pong ball. It has ruined so many lives and countries. Empty people, lonely in a jam-packed wedding hall. No. All is not fair in love and war. Romantic concept of love, myth for me. Love might exist or not, but I see the lonely, forlorn eyes looking into infinity in waiting. The search for love is immortal. Few people love the search more than love. Once love is found, search is dead. Imagine searching for something which might not exist. This is something very strong. The very basic foundation of human society lies on something which might not exist at all. But still I say, all is not fair in love and war. My search for true love has taken me too far. So near, yet so far. So near, yet so far.
My goodness, what a powerful outpouring, loving, kissing, cuddling. Wow, what a beautiful way of expressions that is called spoken word. Yeah, I think I would like to ask, Shalini ma'am, I could go across to Shalini ma'am and I will react on it. Because I was observing the Shalini ma'am, she's carried away. Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Really.
First of all, I love the way you recite your poem. It's absolutely magnificent. It's just so riveting. It holds you completely. And I think what a beautiful concept. And all is fair in love and war is what the age-old dictum that everybody talks about. But I think you've wrapped it up so beautifully by searching for something which may not exist. So that has such a vast connotation. We are always searching. We do search, even though we are not sure whether it exists or it does not exist. Absolutely beautiful. Love it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks.
Remarkable, I would say. Yeah. Remarkable. Very literary. Good. Unmesh Mohitkar for you all. And yes, you should all join. His open mic is, an experience you will love to, So moving on. Our next poet is someone who is retired from, serving army for several years, and he was served in the wars, and, he put himself, and he's an ardent lover of literature and, music. and he is an exponent in terms of, you know, he is an experienced and
Definitely.
he takes in.
Done speaking.
Gopal Purdhani, his
Thank you
name.
for calling
So
me though.
I would like to call upon Gopal Purdhani sir to lend here his poem. Gopal Purdhani sir.
मुझे बुला रहा है।
Gopal Purdhani sir.
हाँ,
please.
प्रसन्ना कुमार जी,
जी जी sir, you are muted sir. Please unmute your mic. Sir Gopal sir, please unmute your mic.
क्या am I visible and
Ah sir, perfect sir, perfect. Go ahead sir.
I can
Perfect.
speak now?
जी
सबको
जी
नमस्कार, गुड इवनिंग, सलाम। मैं आज आपके सामने पेश करूंगा एक उर्दू गजल। मैंने उर्दू में भी लिखा है, पंजाबी में भी लिखा है। तो एक उर्दू गजल पेश खिदमत है कि खुश नसीब हम हैं जो आपसे बात हुई, खुश नसीब हम हैं जो आपसे बात हुई, बाद मुद्दत एक इंसान से मुलाकात हुई। बातों बातों में कितना वक्त गुजर गया, जाने कब दिन हुआ कब रात हुई, हमने तो फकत बादलों को घिरते देखा, कहाँ बिजली गिरी कहाँ बरसात हुई।
वाह वाह वाह, बहुत खूब।
फिर अर्ज है कि रात भर हुई दुनिया भर की बातें, रात भर हुई दुनिया भर की बातें, खत्म अपनी ना मगर बात हुई। और एक शेर है, इसमें मुझे बहुत प्यार मिला, जहां भी मैंने पढ़ी है ये शेर है, आखिरी शेर है गजल का, कि पारस के छूने से लोहा सोना हुआ। यही लोग कहते हैं कि अगर लोहे को पारस छूने तो सोना बन जाता है। पारस को छूने से लोहा सोना हुआ, आज अपने भी कोई औकात हुई। ये उर्दू गजल थी। और मैं एक पंजाबी
सर वो एक
सूफी
बार
गाना
आखिरी लाइन एक बार फिर से रिपीट कीजिए ना, मिस हो गई।
जी, आखिरी लाइन है कि पारस के छूने से लोहा सोना हुआ, पारस के छूने से लोहा सोना हुआ, आज अपनी भी कुछ औकात हुई। ये है एक छोटी सी गजल। और अब मैं पेश करूंगा एक सूफी गाना। काश मेरी आवाज अच्छी होती, मैं गा के सुनाता, लेकिन मुझे पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा ये गाना, और बहुत गहराई में जाने वाला है। मैं आपको ये अर्ज करूंगा कि जो मैंने आज तक सीखा, जनरली तौर पर देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ लवर्स, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट लवर्स जस्ट नाउ। आई थिंक वन कैन कैटेगराइज लवर्स, वन हु फॉल इन लव विद गॉड, उसको उर्दू में बोलते हैं इश्क हकीकी। अनदर वन हु फॉल्स इन ए ह्यूमन बीइंग, उसको बोलते हैं इश्क मशूकी। उर्दू की ये बात है, इश्क हकीकी और इश्क मशूकी। मैं इश्क हकीकी, भगवान के साथ जब प्यार हो जाता है, देखा हमने कि जोगी घूम रहे, इतना बड़ी बड़ी इयर रिंग्स पहने हुए हैं, उनको मुद्रा कहते हैं, मुद्रा पहन के घूमते हैं, हमेशा भगवान का नाम लेते रहते हैं। ये वो लोग हैं जो भगवान के साथ जिनको प्यार हो जाता है, उसके बाद है। मैं अपने आपसे कहता हूं कि मैनू होया इश्क हकीकी। ये जो पंजाबी है, ये ठेठ पंजाबी है। इसको ठेठ पंजाबी बोलना इसलिए क्योंकि ये बोली जो है, ये किसी चीज की परवाह नहीं करती, आजादी बोली है, ये बिल्कुल आजाद। इट सेज मैनू होया इश्क हकीकी, मुझे भगवान के साथ प्यार हो गया। टोटे टोटे कमली मेरी में इक इक सीती सीती, टोटे टोटे कमली मेरी मैं एक एक सीतर सीती। ईच एंड एवरी स्टिच आई हैव डन माई सेल्फ, क्योंकि जिंदगी मेरी टुकड़े टुकड़े हो चुकी है। फिर अर्ज है कि मेरी चुन्नी लगे दाग हजारा, मेरी चुन्नी लगी 10 होरां दे lot of bad spots. कुछ अपने ते कुछ दिते यारां. The friends have given me those bad spots. मैं कमजोर डिगदी भजदी डूबी विच पलीती. मैं गंद के अंदर बिल्कुल डूब चुकी हूँ. ये वो ही कह सकता है जिसको भगवान के साथ प्यार हो जाए, जो बिल्कुल सूफी बन जाए, अपना आप भूल जाए, सिर्फ भगवान को याद रखे. तो अर्ज है कि एक एक दाग में मल मल धोया, एक एक हंजू में कल्ला रोया. When I cried and nobody came to me. सबना दा कुंडा खिड़काया. I went to and tapped the door of everybody. मेरी मदद न कोई करने आया, किसी मेरी मदद न किसी की थी. मैंने होया इश्क हकीकी. आखिरी 2 लाइनें हैं कि असली रम्ज होता है सीक्रेट. असली रम्ज समझ जद आई, जब सीक्रेट समझ आ गया, मैं आज अपनी कीमत पाई. मुझे पता लग गया कि मेरी कीमत क्या है. मेरा महरम मेरे अंदर, ना मंदिर ना मसीती. वो तो भगवान तो है, मेरे अंदर है, वो कहीं और नहीं है, ना मंदिर में ना मसीती में है. असली रम्ज समझ में पाई, मैं आज अपनी कीमत पाई. मेरा महरम मेरे अंदर, ना मंदिर ना मसीती. मैंने होया इश्क हकीकी. भगवान के साथ प्यार हुआ है. नमस्कार, धन्यवाद.
गोपाल सर, आपने इतना खूबसूरत पढ़ा है. आप मेरे पास शब्द नहीं है, मैं किस तरह बयान करूं. बहुत ही खूबसूरत है सर. आई हैव आल्सो लर्नड अ लॉट फ्रॉम यू दिस मोमेंट, एंड बिलीव इन मी, पहले तो शालिनी जी के कलाम से रोना है, अब आपने रुला दिया. लेकिन मैं ऊपर वाले से यही प्रार्थना करूंगी, दुआ करूंगी कि आपके अल्फाज को और खूबसूरती दे. But please accept my heartfelt gratitude for coming to this show. Thank you, sir.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका.
इश्क
So great.
सूफियाना इश्क हकीनी.
Thank you,
ब्यूटीफुल
प्रसन्ना जी.
सर, क्या कहना सर आपका. अब मैं परवेज सरिया सर के पास जाना चाहूंगा और उनका राय पूछना चाहूंगा. या
नमस्कार सर. मैं एक छोटा सा एक अर्ज करना चाहूंगा कि मेरा नाम पिछली बार भी किसी ने गलत पढ़ा, आपने तो ठीक बोला. गोपाल पुरधानी इज माय नेम.
यस सर, गोपाल पुरधानी.
बहुत बहुत नमस्कार. बहुत बहुत
परवेज
धन्यवाद.
सर. थैंक यू सर. परवेज शरिया सर.
थैंक यू सर.
Can I reach now?
I would.
Thank you, Prasanna ji. Good evening and greeting to all of you, my dear friends and honorable poets who is present here. Prasanna ji, I want to read out my 2 poems,
Yes.
if allowed.
Yeah, please.
One poem is Let's the Traveling Going On. The title of my poem is Let's the Traveling Going On. The moon and stars, the sun and the earth, all were walking due to his walking. Since when he had learned to walk on his both the feet, he was walking regularly. He thinks if he would stop walking, this universe will stop also. When he started walking, he was alone. In the battle of right and wrong, he is alone even today. More than the half of world took him as friend. A few of them say him as the terrorist. However, all the time used to keep traveling. He knows that this universe is the arms of his life. The people who were with him, they saw that a giant fish could not digest him. The long and high flames had become chilled on him. Whenever he jumped in the turbulent, wavy river, then the river has also gave him shelter in its lap. Had he stretched out his both the hands to welcome him. When he became the navigator of a magnificent boat, then even jungles and deserts all had spread their shadow. The murderers of daughter and the merchant of slaves, the murderers of daughters and the merchant of slaves, the leechers and flesh traders were taunting at him or taunting at him, but he stood strong always, even in the siege of the double-mouthed people. He was walking only on the virtues of his principles. He behaved very justifiably and with equality, even with the others people. He was flag bearer of the slaves to set them free. He declared rank of a woman higher and above the paradise. He used to walk only 5 steps a day. These 5 steps were so toughest that not even veteran ascetics could walk on that line. He kept walking even on being his legs swollen so fervently, whether it would be the auction in the market of Egypt or the slavery in the Roman Empire. He was alone. He was then alone there. He is alone even now. He is walking so that world keep walking. He had thought, is thinking, the day when he would stop walking, this universe will stop. Come on, we all together pray for him. Never get end his traveling. This traveling of the 2 feet may keep continue. This journey of the human evolution may get more weightage than those of the conspiracies of all narrow-sighted peoples. Let the traveling going on. Thank you.
Let the travel thing going on. It would definitely, sir.
So if it is not much longer poem,
So you could
can
present
I
a short
read
one.
my...
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, this is a different poem and in a short rhyme scheme. My pillow was wet. The last night of the weekend, when I was going to bed, you came silently like a lion who takes position after its prey. You knocked the door quietly, entered tiptoes into my room, whispered in the melodious voice, melted some nectar in my ear. Your such behavior was rare. You had held my hand, took me to moonlight land. That was a serene seashore, full of soft white sand. When we looked around, it was melancholic virgin island. I plucked some fruits from the nearby tree. Believe me, those were absolutely free. We got our hands and ropes mixed with the juices of passions. We put off them to get into water. The beach was so neat and clean. I don't remember how long we swim. We were weeping on our departure. When I woke up, it was a pleasant morning for me. The moon was smelling, the room was smelling with the fragrance of lily. One thing I noticed that was very strange. There was no sign of rain. That scene I can never forget. My pillow was wet. Thank you.
Beautiful, sir. Beautiful. Yes, you're all free to unmute yourself and you could react on, Perwaiz Sahriyar's, poem. So anybody?
Yeah, Prasanna sir,
Yes, ma'am.
can I recite my poem?
No, please hold on, ma'am. Just I'll call you up. Okay, now I would call up the one who is an ardent literature lover as well. She's cool, right? Water, like any other man. Her name is Jill Sherman Kimilan. Yes, Jill.
Good morning. It's morning here. Thank
morning.
you very much. I live in Delaware, USA, and my name is Jill Sharon Kimmelman, and it is such a pleasure to see so many of you becoming familiar faces to me. And that even though I only speak one language, I am absolutely closing my eyes and listening to the melody from the songs and to the beautiful, beautiful words. And I will carry them through my entire day. I'm excited to have such beauty filling my heart today. I have two poems. Most of you know Annette Tarpley, my dear sister friend. This poem I wrote for Annette. It's called Contemplation of a Phoenix in Flight. On wings of doves you begin. In freedom you have found an extraordinary voice, celebration of your journey's path forward. In tranquility your words returned. A whisper within your heart, first denied, incessant gentle nudges avoided, until you could no more deny those words, their impassioned pleas, than you could stop your heart from beating, your lungs from breathing, your pen from bleeding. Awaited, welcomed, their invitation accepted, sonnets and stanzas crafted. Your declaration drafted in tears, haunted by fears, now an affirmation of strangers. Like the lotus, your greatest gifts grew greater in the ooze of mud. Celebrate freedom earned, lessons learned. You, a magnificent phoenix, plumes of every hue, grandest of dreams now yours to pursue, a vibrant blossom ablaze, fiery gems your magical words, a beautiful phoenix soaring, tall, strong, proud, no doubts at all, most magnificent of birds, most beautiful of all. Is it okay to read a second one?
Yes, go ahead, Jill.
Okay, this one I wrote for my mother. It's called A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, our first book club for Mom. I found this book when I turned 9. Sunburned, pool wet is how I came across it for the very first time. I was quoting whole passages from memory at 10, falling in love with that sad little family, devouring their story again and again. Francie was sweet, a girl of my age, like no one I knew, so much more than a character on a page. She was a latchkey kid before the term was ever known. No warm winter coat for the 12-block trek from school to home. Her daddy was an immigrant from Ireland. He'd fled. His loves were song and liquor, his once lovely wife, and tucking his darling girl into bed. Francie would hear him coming, an unmistakable baritone, charming porch sitters and well-wishers on his nightly walk home. Did my mom read it first? Did she place it there for me to find? Does she still recall our solemn discussions of Francie and her Irish waiter, Pa? Her accented crooning made her bairn's heart leap and skip a beat every time she heard his drunken, sweet Adeline, listening through the open windows, watching as he crossed the street. We spoke for days of Francie's ma, old before her time, energy drained, exhausted body and soul, no twinkle left dancing in her violet eyes, an ancient love for her man Johnny in a language of resigned sighs. She scrubbed floors and endless steps until glossed, gleaming, shining. She hurried home to her precious girl. That nighttime walk was when she did her silent crying. She worried about leaving Francie alone each and every night. Those times when Johnny stepped in for a brew or two, the darts he loved to throw. Well, Francie ate cold meals and she had no milk to help her grow. Her mother was once pretty, softly curling locks of chestnut and red. Her mostly drunken husband, well, he was once a charming lad. She had fallen in love with his voice. It had made her own heart sing. Deep within her broken dreams, her heart bells he still could ring. I recall those times with joy, pray that mom still can. Books read, stories shared, the start of our very own book club, the moment it all began. Thank you.
Wow, that was Jill sharing for you all, my dear friends. That was a beautiful tribute for mother.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Jill. Thanks for coming. Thanks for presenting your beautiful two poems.
I'll stay. I'll stay. I just have to shut my camera off for a little while for my eyes.
Yeah.
Thank
Stay
you.
on. Thank you. Stay on, my dear friends. We have up next, we have Richard, Tanya, and Tony coming up. Okay, Richard is the one who is an engineer for profession, but yes, he's a poet at heart. Never
Thank you
misses a
all.
reading. And we missed him in the last two events, but yes, Richard is here is always for you. Richard.
Thank you so very much, my brother. Again, to join this convocation of poets is such an honor to hear the songs of the heart, the songs of the spirit that bring us all together. I have two quick ones for you. This first one, I must tell you, I hear about the Day of the Woman or the Month of the Woman. I think we need the Year of the Woman, the Decade of the Woman, the Century of the Woman. So I have this little piece for you called The Sacredness of Woman. Our sisters, our wives, lovers, they are our partners, our inspiration, our teachers, our mothers. They are a gateway to this world. At one point, we all lay within them curled. Ironic, every tonic in a barren world, the first who grants us shelter and gives us the world unfurled. After such nurturing, all our sustenance, every pleasure and joy, these gifts to every little girl and each little boy. Pure irony, this greatest giver, is so abused, and when she carries so many burdens in which her life is suffused, the sole power to grant or even deny life, and with that all her seasoned nature vies, enacting the rivers and the ocean tides, beyond all the stars we lift her and place her high. It's the ultimate reversal of nurture, her status off stain. She has given us of her life blood, and we are thereby sustained. An ungrateful guest, and you know the rest. It's because of all her glory, her special status confessed, beyond ever giving the ultimate earth, and yet somehow some are blinded to her ultimate worth. Whether she undertakes and give birth is her choice, but we would be wise to listen to her, the ultimate and most beloved voice. One more, my friends,
Beautiful,
one more for
beautiful,
you.
sir. Beautiful. If you could just, yeah, go ahead, sir.
This other one, you know, when you hear the heart songs of poets, you know, some are sad, some are happy. I want to put my vote with those of you who can find that happiness. This I call the Strangeling Lad, and it's so fresh. It doesn't even have the dew dried on it yet. The Strangeling Lad. I like to laugh, and even if I were cut in half 36 times a day, I laugh. I'd probably laugh at that. And now, here, in curiosity walks like a cat. I find this humor stuff in every room, and even if Earth should shrug its shoulders and send me into my life some ungentle boulders, I would think this strangeling lad could still find a reason to be glad. When humor waltzes into the room, displacing 15 times of doom, there are no doubt those who will complain, even as clouds dispense their rain. They are sad, they want to share every kind of loud despair. They would rue even baby bunnies because their antics were cute and funny. They even complain when it's sunny. Should the gentle surf get your knees wet, they'll complain it brought on sneezats. Should you butter up their light brown toast, they'll tell you dryly they hate it the most. I contend with these very lines, gently mocking maudlin stocking so refined, hugging sadness to your breast won't diminish it any less. Perhaps like the Buddha thou shouldst relent and dump thy burdens and then forget.
Wow, wow, wow. That's really a song of art. That's what we get to hear always, you know, the outpouring. That's a natural outpouring, I would say. Honest outpouring. Richard, thank you. Thanks for coming and thank you for honoring the show as always. Yeah, it is our pleasure to, to have you always, you know, it's such an
Thank you, brother.
inspiring.
Thank you so much.
Keep coming and keep
Namaste.
inspiring. Thank you. Namaste. And the one coming up would be, I mean, she's basically a Serbian and she's still in Canada and she writes in Serbian language and English as well. And let me call upon Tanja Ajtic for you all. Yes, Tanja.
Thank you. Thank you. I warmly greet everyone from Canada and Serbia. And thank you, Kumar, for invitation and this recital. I read my 2 short poems. That love. I don't want to talk. I want to keep quiet in this evening of lost dreams. I want to keep quiet and listen silence to remember the wonderful times when you stood in my heart and the soul felt you. I will not talk and retell to myself or the others whether it was or not that love in the silence of the world. I just whispering, he could have been the right one. Thank you. And second, dance. One game to dancing. Dance with you to it. Do not care about close our eyes. Music fell through the veins of rhythm, through the navel navel of the world, dancing, and doors will open happiness, and you will be there. Thank you.
Yes, he would always
Thank
be
you.
there. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you for coming after a long gap. Yes, you are always there, but yes, we missed you for a lot. 2 months.
Thank you,
Please do
Kumar.
come
Thank
and
you very
present
much.
your beautiful film. And next time I read in the Serbian language as well. Okay, please. I will be, that would be nice to hear. And thank you, Tanya. Moving on, we have yes, Tony. Yes, she's our sister. She could call us. So Tony,
Hello.
turn around.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. I missed last week, and this was for the International Women's Day. So here goes. It's called She's Just as Good. She's just as good, yet conveniently misunderstood. Gender parity, timeliness, her disparity. She's just as good, yet conveniently misunderstood. When will a woman be recognized as equal rather than a man's shadowed sequel? She's just as good, yet conveniently misunderstood. Dedicated studies reveal many forms of intelligence to award, as for her easily forgotten upon life's general report card. She's just as good, yet conveniently misunderstood. She can wipe many a tear with her keen sense and heartfelt cheer-ups, lending emotional confidence to toughen up, whereas a man might say, just suck it up. She's just as good, yet conveniently misunderstood. Academic test curves based upon a teacher's favored, and the males tip the scales higher, while women now call out the curves liars. She's just as good, yet conveniently misunderstood. It may be a century from now before a woman can look at a man without having to bow, and when that day comes, equality will shine brighter than the sun. And this was the picture. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So that was it. And I have one other short one.
Please go ahead.
And it was for the festival of hollies, dancing skies and springtime hues. Gone are winters frosty and bare. Now springtime festivities by hollies share. Kick off your shoes without a care, for lollygags and blooms are in the air. Colors come dancing across her skies. Emerging flowers favored pinks and blues, while rainbow-laden lands bloom even more radiant hues. And I secretly awaiting moonlit dances with my muse. And this was the thing I did it on. You see it?
Wow. Happy Holi, Tony, really. Thank you, really.
Thank
Oh
you.
my God.
Thank you.
That's so great of you, having a poem on Holi, this is something like, I must be
I
very
thought it was
thankful.
beautiful,
Yeah.
the celebration of that.
It's a
The color.
celebration, and I must, give that, express my thankfulness to you from on behalf of entire community of, what do you call it? Indian community or Sanatana Dharma, what do you call it? Yes. So it is a celebration of colors, a celebration of love. It's no matter what is, this like.
I like
And
that.
thank you
Beautiful.
for, such a beautiful poem. It's very much thoughtful, from, coming from you. Yes. Thank you, Tony. Thanks for your beautiful poems. Now I would like to call upon our monk on board. Maybe, yes, he is truly, no doubt about it. He is Acharya Manatita Hutchinson, a lantern carrier.
Thank you. Thank you. I've got two pieces. Be a lamp unto others, for it is only through light that we may learn to embrace the darkness. Each soul has its own struggles, and its thoughts turn largely upon itself. Yet I must not look down on others, as the flame in me is the same spark yearning in another soul for freedom. Instead, Let me make myself a bridge so that weary souls can cross over the chasm which is lurking beneath, doing this in silence. For just as the unripe fruit may not taste like sweet mangoes, so too each soul must experience its own thorns. Let me not be too bothered by the fire of desires, for love sets my challenges in each cycle, and unworthiness can be a red thread bleeding in the stranglehold of remorse and shame. Yet treasures are hidden in adversities, just as love holds me even with turbulent emotions like waves. Each ray of light is unique, a river of consciousness, and one which will always have something to offer to life. For when it is short of logs for fire, it will offer weeds as minerals, even as it feeds me fishes from the fisherman's net. I must never forget that living water will always be abundant. When my daily grind seems heavy, or I am hurt by the sharp blades of jealousy and backbiting, let me drop to my knees, cupping my hands in salat, remembering that prayer is an entreaty to the voice within. It manifests in my sorrows, only waiting for me to accept my helplessness, give up my grip on self-reliance, for love is a redeeming power, changing my inner ugliness to an immaculate beauty within and splendor without. I am not in charge, simply a conduit or vessel that love uses to glorify itself. And by being a lamp unto others, I create a vibration which not only inspires my happiness, but enhances the joy and beauty of love's creation of Mother Earth. It is in the light of inner sweetness that each soul transcends, rising in joy to meet the needs of his brethren spirits, sharing the delights of beauty and peace acquired from the unknowable. Be brave, O lantern carrier, you're an inner warrior, a flicker constantly striving to become a flame, to tie your hopes and dreams on the ascent of phoenixes. Soaring the perennials in a quadrant of blaze, you burn the dross of ignorance, carving a golden path to return to the light of the beyond. Listen, not with a dissecting mind, but to that sweet voice within that speaks in silence, either in shadows paved with loneliness or the unfurling pink tulips of seasonal spring. I've got one more. Morning awakes and I feel your presence, not the fresh black cafe Arabica sin leche, the black coffee without milk that I was once accustomed to, but a fragrant lilac ambience permeating the decor of our surroundings. I open and close my eyes, you're still there, your knowing smile waltzing with the butterflies in my heart, even as your kiss splits my veins open to blend its brilliant hue with the breath of thy love. I let go of the shadows of right and wrong, basking in the essence of your being. We become one, longing as intense as the lashing melody of waves, binding our souls together like glue, tailor-made for this seamless love. We speak in silence, and I ask, "O Queen, what is this rhapsody I feel within?" But you answer in glee-filled tears, flowing like a river of joy down radiant cheeks. I went to bed a yearning soul, one who'd spent many years in search of your unspoken sugarcane juice. Now my longing has been harvested, the seeds grown from ancient cries of seeking, the blossoming daffodils, an aria to make Solomon blush as the awakening dawn pranams to their beauty. Waiting was more than worthy after all. Before you came, I hung on the red threads of desolation and despair. My thoughts were caught in the bitter remorse of yesterday and the illusionary fears of tomorrow's morn. Now that I have found you, your lips are my wine of endless delight. The price is never right. How I lamented your absence, blamed you for so much of my struggles. Now that you're with me, Who cares about past challenges, the steep slopes of the agony of a hungry lover? I wish I was hurt 10 times more to make up for the sweetest ecstasy I feel within. Beloved, you fulfill my culinary needs, and your banquet is more than deserving of an obedient beggar like me at the bewildering gateways of your majesty. You have only to ask, and I will squeeze this heart for you, only to swoon in surrender in the bewitching wonders of thy love divine. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Swoon and surrender. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I would say a little one, Sri Suro Gururatmate, Urtutraya Surupani, Anandatma Surupaya, Dakshinamurtiye Namaha. Let the soul show light and mind,
Okay, let me say a word in its connection, Prasanna ji. Yeah.
Please.
Let me make myself a bridge. He says that, Dandanji says that, let me make a bridge. A bridge is for what? For the connection, for uniting the hearts of people, poets, and each and everybody. And he says it is in silence. It is not in silence, but in louder voice. It says that the poem goes like that. And many congratulations, Landanji. Thank you very much. I have no other words to say. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for presenting as always a beautiful and thoughtful, wonderful poems, and to reflect upon. Yes. Next up, thank you, sir. Next up, we have Hiran Nawaz and yes, Ronnie Tucker, Ankita Srivastava ma'am, and yes, Paramita Singh. Before that, okay, let me call upon Hiran Nawaz.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, but I can see you.
I will start my poem. First of all, I'll give you a brief description about myself. My name is Miss Hiran Nawaz, and by profession, I'm a teacher, writer, and poetess. So I wrote this poem because it's entitled My Purpose in Life, because I feel that even if one is going through difficult situations, if one is strong and always relates to one's purpose, they can make it through anything. So this poem is called My Purpose in Life. From a young, impressionable age, I've had a calling to do something novel, unique, or meaningful with my life, not to waste it in mindless endeavors of gossip and easy life, escaping not even, or even to be just a housewife. I'm enthusiastic and introspective enough to follow a path of righteousness by inculcating precepts of God above, which is suffice to make me follow a path of purpose, meaningfulness, conscientiousness, and undying love. My first purpose and priority in life is to zero in on a life of ardent prayer and fervent service to God, to help others selflessly in tangible ways by emulating the example and following the footsteps Mother Teresa trod. But how do I intend to practically accept and meet this awesome but challenging goal? It is through a process of writing the most motivational and inspiring poems written and recited for any earthly role. I want each poem I write to stem, emanate, and evolve from the deepest recesses of my empathetic heart, to not just be another invisible entity, but be of God's glorious kingdom and be a valuable part. I want to recite my poetry with the best effort I can muster, using the correct expression, tonality, and diction. And by doing that, I endeavor to win hearts, capture and free souls, and try my best to eliminate fiction. I tend to make my poetry stretch my limits of purity so that these poems can energize, motivate, and inspire making as many as possible exult, enthuse, and invigorate with each heartbeat and breath they respire. My poetry, inspired by the muses, is written in these diabolic times, difficult and war-ravaged times. The poem intends to evoke the most poignant and profound feelings towards peace via the flow of rhythm and rhymes. I intend to do my ultimate and optimum to extricate the vagaries of each individual, child, woman, and man, and turn each mess into a message to create from them a sterling diamond, the best they possibly can. So in this way, my purpose to make the world that bit better than the world that I was brought or raised up in, to endeavor to make each entity a person in their own right, so that they live a life of courage and they disengage from sin. My purpose in life is not to succumb, not to be loud and boisterous, but see reality by opening my dreamy eyes, to stand tall in every diabolic situation, from the ashes of discontentment to heroically rise. Yes, my purpose of life is when the chips are down, to rise from the ashes like a beautiful phoenix bird, to never accept defeat, but to prod on, urged by God's sent, fearless, immaculate, and perfect word. To see that each word, thought, and action of mine comes with the sincerest of intentions and hence has the desired effect, that it helps in translating into result of abundance and success in each perception of life I reflect. My purpose is to try my best, though at times I will fail, to build bridges and to be the best version of me that I can possibly be. For I know, though flawed, I am lured by God's invincible love that is more steadfast, older, and deeper than the sea. In this life of mine, I promise God to lead the above life of purpose by healing each wound by stringent suture, making the world open up for me and my comrades to be brighter, more beautiful, and to a purposeful future. So thank you. Thank you, especially Kumar, for inviting me. I mean, so nice of sending the link to my WhatsApp group. And I wish here all the other poets all the best. Each poet so far made such a beautiful poem. I'm really in admiration. And thank you for giving me this platform. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Such an epic prayer. I would say that's really wonderful. You're here to bridge the gap. Thank you. Thanks for coming, and please keep writing and please coming. It's such a thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Now up next we have from Champagne, we call it Ronnie. Ronnie is he's always on Facebook and he presents himself live presentation, gives a live presentation and writes short poems. Ronnie is basically from Illinois. So Ronnie, mic is yours.
How you doing? Are you there?
Go ahead, Ronnie.
I'm going to tell more than that without wear yours, but you got different all day for you. Yeah, I had some wrote last week, and I want to do two short ones, and it's like something that I never show anybody. I started writing in 2019, like I'll type it and then post it, what I do. And this is way back when I used to write poems, and I can't remember the date these are, but these is basically kind of stuff how I started before I got on Facebook. And they might be old, like 10 or 20 years old. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start. And I want to congratulate Shelina That was a killer opening you had with her singing a song. But here's my poem, Drink from Water. In veiled in morning, evening takes a solitary day, whistling voice of death and darkness that follow at the heels, burn beneath metallic fires, faces in the dust humble to rust. O silent sky, shine, drink from the waters of sorrow, reap and repose. The flesh, the poison, the morrow, toss the clouds from the wind. Hovering angels upon the couch of death, drink from the silent dew, and see stars in heaven. Vision runs like tears in the ancient Sumerian skies. And wind whispered and began, colored in pearl and red, commune to flesh, a wicked beast, and when death smiles to witness the bitter ending, for now a child, a wicked beast. Okay, and
Thank you,
this is my
Ronnie. The
second
audio,
one.
we couldn't hear your, the audio was, troubling a lot. Maybe, I think, yeah. But go ahead with your second, poem. Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
just maybe hear
Yeah.
a little better. Clipped wings and shiny things. Don't cling to me, I already possess you. Clipped wings and shining things. I won't be a fallen one. My angel screams. Safe in the dark, I choose my spell to capture you. The nightmare has begun and the black worm turns. Blind to his skies, I have made my sacrifice. I drown in sorrow, I weep my Christ. Do you wonder why the angels cry? Do you wonder why the angels cry? Bleeding, bleeding, not believing. Look not with eyes blind. I'm not real, yet I'm still here. I'm a fire, I'm living, dying again and again.
Beautiful, Ronnie, but audio
Thank you.
was familiar. But yes, why do angels cry? We need to ask them. Yes, but yes, it was a wonderful poem. It's a wonderful short poem. And thanks for making it
All your work
to your morning,
too
actually.
good.
Evening, maybe. Yes, Ronnie, I like your cap, cowboy cap. Beautiful cap. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Up next,
Maybe
we
next
have.
time it'll be better.
Thank you. Thank you. Up next, we have Ankita Paramita Sarangi, Isaac Kohan, Gangalaxmi ma'am, Prasanna sir, Dr. Roopali ma'am, Madhu Sharma, Shyama, and on and on. So let me call upon Lieutenant Colonel. If I'm not wrong, she is Colonel Ankita Srivastava. So welcome, ma'am. Mic is yours. Colonel Ankita Srivastava, for you all.
Thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And I am basically here after I get adequately kicked by Roopali mom. And she's the person sitting with a huge hammer and she forces me. In fact, she literally encourages me to be part of these poetry recital platforms, which I'm so thrilled to be here today. A wonderful number of poets have recited such beautiful poem. So today I would like to recite my poem, The Leap. The Leap. I decided to merge in your shadows, to surprisingly find my own shadow outshadowing that of yours. I wasn't weak, but I acted one to let you feel strength in your masculine mind. I knew I was growing day by day, noticing that you have stopped growing at all. So I tried to stop growing larger than you, and you chose to behave like a bonsai. You felt not threatened, as you saw no danger coming towards you from me. Such was my composure, wrapped in artificial compassion for you. I could have assaulted your ego and broken it into million pieces, but I chose to watch it silently fall on its own under your own heaviness of your heart. I was born a warrior, you weren't, and hence you did not know the war games. You attacked me from behind, but I turned around and put you on ground with all my mental might that was kept hidden under my skin all these years. Thank you. And a small second poem too. What am I searching for? What am I searching for? Is it a heart or is it a mind? I run marathons in multiple minds, but I guess I want to rest in a single heart. The more minds I have around me, the more I am in a magnetic field. Pull me in the orbit where the magnets fail to attract my iron soul. Is it the dust or is it the rust that I need to wipe off? I look around and I see a new human holding a duplicate heart in the palm. And my original one, reads out, handle with care manual. Is it a broken piece or is it a fragile piece? I try researching like a PhD scholar. The dynamics of human anatomy, the alignments of skin deep issues. Is it my blurred vision or is it a failed mission that hearts just can't be invented with minds? Thank you.
Wow, wow, what a rendition, ma'am. What a powerful, I mean, so beautifully expressed, beautifully, just with your gestures and all. Ma'am, could you introduce yourself? I'm afraid if you are not at the same place of Lieutenant Colonel Srivastava.
Ankita. Yeah, Ankita Srivastava. I'm a veteran. I'm a Indian Army veteran. And I'm here. After hanging my boots, I've become a published author. I'm author of 4 hardbound books. My latest book is Olive Green to Beauty Queen. And I also write poems. And I have already been featured into 2022 anthologies, international and national. And I'm here today reciting the poem in front of all lovely audience.
Great, ma'am. It's such a pleasure having you around, and it's such a an honor for us to be listening to you and having you on board. And thanks to Roopali, ma'am, for introducing me such a wonderful voice.
Yes, Prasanna, Lieutenant Colonel Ankita Srivastava is a very special person because she's not only been a veteran, but she's also been a veteran of the Kargil War. So she has been a combatant. And then, she also became a beauty queen because she wanted to deconstruct the maleness in her, which the army had drilled. So it's a very interesting book that's called From Olive Green to Beauty Queen. How she had to change even the way she had to walk. And I'm very, very, proud of her. And thank you, Ankita, for coming and keep coming to this forum.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yes, man, you should keep coming and you should, keep us inspiring with your warrior-like words.
Oh, yeah.
bombard.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
so
man.
much.
Really, it's such an honor for us. And, thank you once again. And up next, we have Isaac Cohen, Gangalaxmi ma'am. So Isaac Cohen, we have Paramita Sarangi. Yeah, Paramita Sarangi. Yeah. After a long gap, ma'am, please, mic is yours. here after a long gap. Please, he could just, you know, he could
Okay,
enjoy us.
thank you,
Present us
Prasanna.
your, yeah.
Thank you, Prasanna. आज मैं मेरी हिंदी कविता रिसाइट करना चाहूंगी। शीर्षक है खजुराहो। मेरे कंकाल में चिपकी है कविताओं की एक पुरानी पांडुलिपि। मेरे कंकाल में चिपकी है कविताओं की एक पुरानी पांडुलिपि, जिसे मैंने लिखा है वृक्ष की केस में फंसे हुए तारों की कहानी। ख्वाब और ख्वाहिशों में लड़खड़ाती वफाओं को लेकर खत्म हो चुके प्रेम की तलाश में नासमझ खजुराहों की नर्तकियां। नजर नहीं मिला पाती खुद से। कैसे समझाऊं उन्हें इस गुफा के संगीत और अंधकार के बीच में समय ने मुझे भी छला है। शाम से उड़ने वाली मुट्ठी भर धूल नाचती रहती है देर रात तक, फुसफुसाती है कुछ। मैंने उसे सुन लिया। वो एक सवाल था, क्या किसी पुरुष ने दी है कभी अग्नि परीक्षा? शिला में लिपटे असंख्य स्वप्न तड़पते हैं। शिला में लिपटे असंख्य स्वप्न तड़पते हैं एक झंकार के लिए, अपने अस्तित्व को जाहिर करने के लिए। देखते हैं मुझे टकटकी लगाए। हाँ, यह सच तो है, प्राण हो या निष्प्राण, नारी को ही ढूंढनी पड़ती है अपनी अस्मिता। मगर मैं तो हूं एक अवशेष इतिहास के खंडर में। कैसे कहूं तुम्हें भाषा के अलावा नहीं कोई हथियार मेरे पास। Can I recite my second one? Thank you. शीर्षक है शेष पृष्ठा। उस दिन घड़ी थी पापा के हाथ में और वक्त था मेरे पास। पता नहीं कैसे गुम गए वो घड़ी और वो वक्त। कहीं मैं ठग तो नहीं गई? कीचड़ से भरा मुहूर्त थोप गया है पलकों के पीछे। देखो तो हड़प्पा की उस नर्तकी को, आज भी खड़ी है वो वैसे ही। आरंभ और अंतिम पृष्ठा भरकर भेजा है उसने। बाकी पृष्ठा उस पतली डोर को लांघकर सचमुच कोई भर सकता है क्या उस बाकी पृष्ठ को? पूजा घर में जलता हुआ दिया भी देखने लगा है पूरब की ओर। अब ना दिन ना रात मेरी आत्मा को खींच रहा है कोई, मेरे सांसों को मेरे देह से। धूप जैसा कुछ आ रहा है बंद झरोख की ओर से। उस थोड़ी सी उजाले में ले जा रही हूं मैं कुछ ना कर पाने की मेरी अयोग्यता को कितने शब्दों के साथ। मुझे जाना है, जाना तो पड़ेगा। हाँ या ना कौन पूछता है? खत्म हो रही है अवधि धीरे धीरे। वो देखो अलार्म भी बजने लगी। Thank you, Prasanna, giving me such a nice platform. Thank you.
Excellent, मैम। बहुत संवेदना भरी आपकी rendition थी। बहुत अच्छा लगा। And yes, please do come. You always get busy with your shows and
With
all.
my kids, nothing else.
Yes, but yes, good. Very emotive, very expressive, and beautifully written. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for coming, and keep coming. Up next, we have our smiling poet from Israel, Isaac Cohen. He requests no introduction, and I said, Isaac.
Yes. Thank you, Kumar, and thank you, Dr. Roopali, and thank you, Spisak, and all my friends in the world. Adv Kamal. Dream. No red guns. The butterflies will fly in the world without borders. Free faces, all without fear. No fences between the countries. The world free and liberal. The country's budget will go to education and IT. No vast of money for stupid ideas. The smart wake up and the dream is realist. Hallelujah. And the second, Adv I am peace, a shy, a nice, polite, a cultural play, a quiet voice. You saw I am peace, and peace was me. Thank you, Adv Israel.
Yes, Isaac. With your smiling, you could spread this peace, and peace is you. Yes, definitely, and no doubt about it. Thank you always for coming, and thank you for spreading smiles and positivity.
Thank you.
Up next, let me call upon our regular participant who is who never misses, responding to the prompts. Her name is Dr. Gangalaxmi Patnaik.
Good evening, friends. Belated happy holy friends. Before recitation, let me speak how color influences emotions, feelings that we come across in our life, like green, yellow, white, red, black, etc. Yellow color associates with brightness. Green symbolizes life. Fertility, white for purity, clarity. Red is the color of courage. And valor, black, evokes sadness and anger. Again, I want to speak about chromotherapy or color light to heal the physical, mental, and spiritual energy. The chromotherapists describe red color as an energy stimulant, green an excellent color for improving concentration. Color therapy is an amazing technique that uses the powers of different colors to soothe mind. So in this context, let me recite my poem titled Chromotherapy. Chromotherapy. Colors in spectrum harmonize, rebalance body's inner vibrations essential in life. Colors in spectrum harmonize, rebalance body's inner vibrations essential in life. Different colored rays have various therapeutic effects on the organisms. Different colored rays have various therapeutic effects on the organisms. Man says he is green with envy. Feeling blue influences moods. Man says he is green with envy. Feeling blue influences moods. She is red hot, goes on purple due to the huddles communicate actions. She is red hot, goes on purple due to the huddles communicate actions. Sometimes face turns yellow in lieu of deceit by the fellow. Sometimes face turns yellow in lieu of deceit by the fellow. Yellow like autumn leaves, pears are yellow, rich, ripe, mellow. Yellow like autumn leaves, pears are yellow, rich, ripe, mellow. Spring and summer are seasons where the fashion trends change. Spring and summer are seasons where the fashion trends change. Colors of fall, cold winter is bold, vibrant, warm and creative. Colors of fall, cold winter is bold, vibrant, warm and creative. Red, pink, romantic colors symbolize luck, happiness. Violets, plum, add warmth. Red, pink, romantic colors symbolize luck, happiness. Violets, plum, add warmth. Color therapy treats ailments by using colors for good breath. Color therapy treats ailments by using colors for good breath. Brown connects trustworthy, orange rejuvenation, red energy, green harmony, pink femininity. Brown connects trustworthy, orange rejuvenation, red energy, green harmony, pink femininity. Warm, cool hues find balance in life, exerts effect on humanity. Warm, cool hues find balance in life, exerts effect on humanity. Hues can speak more than 1,000 words. Hues can speak more than 1,000 words, uttered to soul in a million divergent ways. Uttered to soul in a million divergent ways. Lastly, this recitation is over. My sincere gratitude goes to all poets and well-wishers for your rock-solid support system and encouragement. I thank specially to founder chairperson Prasanna ji from the bottom of my heart because he's always supporting poets, giving honor. Thanks all once again. Thanks.
Thank you all, ma'am. Thanks. My thanks goes out to you for supporting and and putting out all those summing up the color therapy or chromotherapy or whatever it is, colorology, whatever it is. Wonderful, ma'am. Wonderful, and happy Holi to you too. Thanks for presenting. Thank you. Thanks for coming. And up next we have our next poet is Prasanna Bhatta. Yes, he is also a regular poet for now platform now.
Am I audible?
Go ahead, sir.
Hi
Go ahead,
everyone.
go ahead.
Sweet day, sweet poetic friends. I'm Prasanna Kumar Bhatta, Odisha, India. Thanks a lot to Mr. Prasanna K. Kumar ji, adorable and admirable personalities who invited to this gigantic platform for reciting my poem before galaxy of poets around the world. The title of my poem, really nowadays, it is the shortage among the world. It is the rare in the world that is trust. Trust is nowhere seen nowadays. So the title of my poem, Trust is the biggest fact. Trust is the biggest fact. Nothing proves great without trust. Nothing proves great without trust. Trust always sees and shows the biggest fact. Trust strengthens love bond. Trust strengthens love bond, standing stronger than everything beyond. Standing stronger than everything beyond. Trust revives, farm, love, and believe. Trust revives, farm, love, and believe. Confidence or reliance in mind and heart. Confidence or reliance in mind and heart. In the honesty, integrity, reliability, or justice. The honesty, integrity, reliability, or justice of one person or society or country. Trust, the backbone of healthy. Trust, the backbone of healthy, happy, and cordial relationship. Trust, the backbone of a healthy, happy, and cordial relationship, whether they are romantic or not, whether they are romantic or not, but rules in each and every place, rules in each and every place. To trust, feeling of confidence and security, trust, feeling of confidence and security that a partner cares and honors, that a partner cares and honors, for spreading love and affection, binds with a heavenly bond, binds with a heavenly bond. Trust is a complex neural process. Trust is a complex neural process that binds diverse representation, that binds diverse representation into semantic or linguistic pointer, into semantic or linguistic pointer that includes feeling and emotions, that includes feeling and emotion. Oh, my dear poets, the moment trust is boiled down. Oh, my dear poet, the moment trust is boiled down, everything goes for destruction and fall down and fall down and fall down. Thanks for listening my poem. This is the end of my poem.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. As always, give us a moment to ponder, with your rendition. Yes, trust is very much needed. And thanks for coming always and giving us support and encouragement with your, recital. Thank you, Prasanna sir. Thanks for coming. Up next, we have our, how would I introduce her, since she's, I could not have proper words to express, or, to put it, but yes, I would call her as my inspiration and my guru, and she is always there to support me and, guides me, and she's like a mentor, not like a mentor, yes, mentor, definitely. Dr. Roopali, Sircar, Gaur for you. My dear friends, give it up.
Thank you, Prasanna. I had vanished to cook dinner. So I just read something. Since this is, thank you firstly for bringing us all together in this very creative process. This is also the Women's History Month. And I wrote this poem in 2020. We have a very elderly lady who comes to cut the grass in our lawns. And I have always wondered, she looks very old. She looks ancient, but she's very sprightly. And she draws my attention. And it's never been possible for me as a poet to ignore the people who give us these comforts, because of whom, we actually survive, they're so important. Now, her name is Astar Kali. So this poem is dedicated to her. It's called Astar Kali, the grass cutter. She is toothless, and her face is a crumpled papyrus. No one knows how old she is. Even she doesn't know. Her slim ankles are that of a dancer. She walks faster than a running deer. Her body is slim and thin, a bit bony. Perhaps she is a middle-aged woman who lost her teeth because of zarda, pan, and khaini. Or perhaps caries just chewed them up. One knows very little about her. She prefers not to tell her story. That way she can disappear without an address. Just once, last winter, when she generously brought rotis and sarso saag for me, she talked about her dead son, who died without medical care, and of her only grandchild, who drowned in the village pond. Her daughter-in-law, a Dain, that's a monster, from another caste, ate her son and grandchild, and now enjoys the pension, living the life of a whore. That is Astar Kali's greatest sorrow. The sun beats hot and dry, turning green into yellow. And for Astar Kali, the grass cutter, there is no grass to cut. No grass, no money, and the lockdown. These days, her crumpled parchment face is hidden behind a much used mask. Only her solitary eye is seen. She buys wheat, trading the rice of remorse, distributed free in Sofipur village, where people are wheat eaters. You know, the irony is that here's a village where people eat wheat, but the government was distributing rice there during the lockdown. Sometimes she grinds the leftover cooked rice, sun drying them into papads. Only sometimes. Papads needs oil to fry, and there is no grass to cut. This year, the monsoon rain shied away. So Astakali is the face of the poor Indian woman. Poverty is all around us, and we need to address that. We need to reach out to those who are left behind. If I may read another poem, this is of course dedicated to all of you, and it is called Creativity. I stood at madness's door with a shredded mind, a patch-filled head, and a heart that was sore. With manacled hands and thorn-blooded feet, there was no way for minds to meet. What madness is this? You asked of me. I answered, an initiating soul only the initiated can see. Now, all of us who are here, I feel we are the initiated ones, because everyone around us wonders what we do, why are we writing poetry? Oh, unfortunate one, whom no madness stirs, no spiraling tunnel, no starlit marvel sucks into the heart of strife. Do you not know? It is only in madness alone that creation creates, giving birth to life. So we have to have this certain kind of, madness that makes us write poetry. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So this is dedicated to all of us. And keep being mad, keep being crazy. Thank you
Yes,
so
man, I
much.
definitely agree with you. I keep being mad, and you should always, I often get to learn so many things from you. I was so listening to you intently, and I was going through the lines, and it was like a story. It is a real story. It is an unsung hero, we can say. Maybe she's an unsung hero. Yes, definitely. We have so much around, and we see many things around. But then yes, really do they get their voice or their work being recognized? The people like you are the ones tender heart would give them shape or give them it's like your the people, the poets or your artists, they try to bring them these moments,
Thank you
touching
so much,
moments.
Prasanna. I do believe that we can't live in an ivory tower, that we live within, society, and there are people around us who need our attention as poets. You are a voice for change. this whole community is a voice for change.
Voice for
Everybody
change.
is.
Every time,
Thank you.
it is not only that, ma'am, every time when I get to meet some person, I get to learn so many things. I think I'm just in a small kind of, bubble. I had this world of mine, and I just think that I had to learn many of the things, and which even a small kid, have so many things to, has to say, and even a younger fellow, he has experienced a lot in his life, which I haven't so far. But not everyone should have those, kind of trials and tribulations or whatever, ups and tides. But yes, life is a journey, and it's all always about learning and learning and learning. Yesterday, I think
Thank you
I
so
had
much.
a few moments, and today I just, had a poem that I'm in the form of your maid who made a lasting impression on your mind, and you put it beautifully, and it was such a tribute to her, and it is very speakable, and it's for me it is something. I think this kind of platform should have this, like it is kind of a seminar, or it's a kind of symposium, and where younger mind should participate, though they should not talk, they could be an audience. That is what I believe. And I take this moment to invite all the poets. I request all the poets to make them join, and so that they could listen and they could try to learn something up, or otherwise they build their character, and they build their things up. So this is kind of learning. So it's not about
Thank you so
recital,
much.
or you're enjoying ourselves, we have taking of a few hours or to a few minutes, but it's not showcasing us. It's a kind of
Thank you so
symposium.
much,
So
Prasanna. So much.
it's a knowledge building process.
So you got to be crazy. You must be crazy to be
Thank
running
you.
this for us. No?
No, it is we derive the pleasure when you get to work, whatever you feel like, having, to work to. So that is something like, so there is no pain in gain, no gain in pain. So just without pain. So that is it, man. Thank you for inspiring. Thanks for, creative, forming form. So let me call upon, thank you, ma'am. Let me call upon the next poet, who is yes, she is always there on, where is she? She has left. But moving on, I think we could have Shyama Prasad Patnaik. He is a daughter of Dr. Gangalaxmi Patnaik, and he is very active on social platform, and he always responds to the poets, both husband and wife. Very cool. So let me take this moment, invite Shyama Prasad Patnaik sir to call upon me to read out his poem.
Okay, good evening, dear honorable poets. I am Shyama Prasad Patnaik from Odisha. I express my sincere gratitude to the founder chairman of the Fertile Brains, K.K. Prasanna sir, and for giving me such an opportunity to present my poems. I also equally thankful to all the members and Dr. Roopali Sircar Gaur ma'am. And the title of my poem is Multitude Hues of Love. As it is a color of season of colors, and Holi has gone recently. My title is Multitude Hues of Love. Panorama of love painted by multitude hues of kaleidoscopic vibgyor, refracted through motley of exaltation. When you win the tender soul of your paramour, spring turns floral garden into green. Emerald green color fills the soul with hopes, aspirations, dreams and perceptions of sheer inspiration. Spring, the season of mellow fruitfulness, paints your imagination with purple maple leaves, red crimson. Shimmering, shining light of stars in murky night paints the background of world's glorious scenes. In rainy weather, sun appears on opposite sky. Magnificent rainbow hangs perching on infinite horizon. When colors of rainbow transforms into snow white, mind is filled with crystal spiritual sensation. Snow-clad hillocks cleans poet's vision and enhances spirit of trust, humanity, love, and emotion. Myriad colors of flora and fauna of magnificent earth fills life with joyous cloud nine. Various colors of beautiful earth adds vibrant spirit of glamour to dull and dingy perception. Multitudinous colors are utilized by poets, painters, and artists to glorify the feelings of articulation. Blue azure ocean evokes emotional feelings of love which happen once in a blue moon. And that is the end of my poem. And thanks again for watching and listening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming and thanks for presenting a beautiful poem. Yes, thank you. Up next, we have Yasmal request. We are having, there is a change in the list, but yes, Sylvia Ang is from Singapore. She is going to present us a beautiful poem for us. Yeah, she's done with health issues, but yes, she requested. Sylvia Ang. Sylvia, please unmute your mic.
Hello.
Please. Yes, go ahead, Sylvia. Welcome.
Yeah. Hello. This is Sylvia Ang from Singapore, or known as Sylvia Ang Lei King. I will screenshot some of the today event and put in my page poetry experiment. So you can go and like the page and type your own photo. Okay, today I'm reading a poetry, a tribute to my grandma. My grandma is 105 years old before she passed on. My grandma lived in Chin Sui Road on top of a coffee shop. Whenever we visited her, we would shout to the coffee boy below, "Tu tok tok mi po dry. Kaya toast with extra fresh butter. Kopi kosong 2 boiled eggs." We lower the basket with money. Coffee boy will shout, "Order is ready." We lower the basket. The dry tok-tok mee pok with chili and tomato paste, 2 fish ball, fish cake, a piece of liver and minced pork with crispy pork lard. The coffee kosong cup and sauce add color to the coffee. The boiled egg 7 minutes with drops of dark soya sauce, a dash of pepper. Before Chinese New Year Eve, traditional beautician will rub her face with Samfeng face powder. Use a thread to tighten her face. With her tiny bind feet, deem a beauty during the era. Memory of my godma live forever. Okay, and this is a review. A review of my grandma, Lao Ji Sing. Thank you for your encouragement and valuable feedback. Hi, Sylvia. Your writing is excellent. It is characterized by your unique knowledge of the life in the past in Singapore. This give your writing its unique signature. Marvelous job. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sylvia. That was a lovely tribute to your grandmother. Yes, so beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for coming and get well soon. And yeah, please keep coming. Thank you. Thank you. Love. Next up, is a teacher who always, delivers lectures on poetry and, literature. And we recently had, a privilege of, um, getting to hear the lectures. So it was on YouTube, and yes, uh, teachers are,
Yeah.
she's motivates students. She's Mildred Par from Philippines. After a long gap, she's making it to this platform. So welcome, Mildred. Give it up for Mildred. Welcome.
Yes, good evening to everyone. I've been away for quite a while. I had to adjust a lot of things in my life changing, so I had to adjust a bit, but now I think I'm back. Although I do not write that frequently, but still I can manage. So I hope I'm still welcome. So my poem tonight will be Give Me a Chance. So let me read on. Silently, I stepped out into the night, hoping to find my own evasive light. I am the bearer who owns the right. Let it be me with enlightened sight. No more nice and comfortable bed that wakens my body and my head. I need some challenge, some success to tell myself I'm all right, I did my best. What will I do with all the luxury and beauty? With complacency or being an authority? Life's beauty unfolds through discovery and having each day a success story. So if you see me and really cares for me, allow me to be carefree, never stop me. I will pass by this life only once. Let me live my life the way I want. So please give me a chance. Okay, so that's my first. Let me have another one. I submitted this to an anthology, so it's not yet posted on any platform. So let me read on again. The title is Love and Hope. Love and Hope. In life, sometimes it's better to retreat, as life is not always truly sweet. It has a series of bitter challenges, lets you off in your security. What a pity. When you love, it radiates all through life. Your dark and gloomy kind of existence turns bright. So lovely, it soon assuages, even if your hands are dirty or simply empty. Besides, better build hopes and dreams, so your soul rises above the clouds, sharing your life a glimpse of divinity. For your mobility, better tap the cosmic energy. Hope does wonders and brings new energy, make you strong physically as well as emotionally. You hope to be the best in your future. Let it happen. Let unfold God's nature. That's all. Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be back, Mr. Prasanna. I'm so happy to see familiar faces here, and Isaac Cohen and Gangalaxmi and the other the others. Prasanna, I cannot name everyone, so I really am so happy to see them live like this. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mildred. Thank you. And thank you for honoring this platform with your beautiful poems and presenting first. Yeah. Yes, please do come, and please, poets, I would like to, grab your pick your attention, that please submit your, articles for the website. And yeah, we'll be eagerly waiting for your articles. So you could submit on www.fatalblends.com. So that is it. And please join next week too. Okay, I'll be sharing the link. I'll be sharing the link. Up next, we have my. Oh yeah, whoa, yes, he's a children, book writer, and he's a lovely singer. He writes in colloquial, in a native language, in Malayalam and in English. He written over 36 books. That was a great achievement. I mean, splendid. So let me call upon Sridharan Parapudi, sir, who always brings flavor of, God's own country and in the soil of rain and, so petrichor. So Sridharan, sir.
Yeah. Am I audible? Okay.
Yes, sir, perfect.
Yeah, okay. Honorable Press and dear Prasanna ji and Fatal Benz, let me have my Malayalam in 30 seconds only and 1 minute in English. Okay? Yeah. What Roopali ma'am said, she was depicting the face of a poor woman, and I remember that. Okay. Anuvadavum tanna എന്നോടെന്നിലെ എന്നെ കാണാനാശീർവാദവും തന്ന് എന്നിലെ എന്നെ പോക്കാനുള്ള കൽപ്പന തന്ന് എന്നടുത്തുണ്ടാകണം എപ്പോഴും മഹാപ്രഭോ. Yes. The first one is the sinner. Shall I blame you for my faults? At least for once, dear. Shall I blame you for my faults? At least for once, dear. Attached detachment. While the thunder tries to detach sharing moments, the raindrop attaches. While the thunder tries to detach sharing moments, the raindrop attaches. How my steps helped me to think of you and me too. How my steps helped me to think of you and me too. Okay.
Excellent, sir. Is always she present, as I said earlier, you always bring the flavor and with your, Malayalam rendition and the English as well with the sweet rendition. I love it. It's always. Thank you, sir. Thank you for, now up next. Yes, she's our team member, but she's active, really. We were known to each other for last 3 years, but yes, whenever she gets time, she comes. She lives in, Brazil, and Maria is her name. Maria.
Hello, good night, good evening, everyone. I'm Maria from Brazil. Thank you, Prasanna, for joining us on these video meetings. They are very remarkable, and we have the chance to meet people from all around the world. I congratulate all bards present on this video meeting for their poems, some that I listened to until now. They are very beautiful. Well, my poem is not so long, a few lines only, and it's about love. I hope you enjoy. The title of the poem is We Are Love. At first glimpse, eyes entwined. It was you and me meant to be sweethearts in an endless journey. We crossed sorry. A glitch with my PC, sorry. I'm going to start all over again. The title of my poem is We Are Love. At first glimpse, eyes entwined. It was you and me meant to be. Sweethearts in an endless journey. We crossed all the odds a long time. Never have we moved a little bad beat. Love always more and more sweet. We walked through dry valleys. You always courageous and stimulating words. Never shall we go ahead for nothing. We have shed tears of despair in every difficult moment. Aloofness from you I have not found. You always calm my fears, pulling me from the bottom of distress, and your smiles light fire again. I have always had your love, as you had also had mine. This is what really means for us. Bounteous love to each other one. Thank you. This was my poem. Sorry for the glitch. Congratulations to all. Thank you very much for listening to me. Good night.
Thank you, Maria, please. I wish our all team members should join this, but yes, you never forget. Yeah, whenever you get time, you go it. I would, thank you. Before calling upon our next poet, I think I could take the liberty of, taking, singing a few lines for Sridhar and Parakude, sir. If you all permit me. Shalini ma'am. Would you permit me? Or Roopali ma'am? Or Ray, whatever, whoever it is. I would like to take the liberty of, but it's not liberty. I would, take permission.
Yes, it's for children. It's for children. Yeah. Children.
It is not for children, but yes, it is for you.
It's for you. Okay. ഇലയൊരു നാൾ വിരുന്നു പോയി ഇലയൊരു നാൾ വിരുന്നു
This is not that.
Yeah.
This is not that. പച്ചപ്പനന്ദത്തെ പുന്നരപ്പൂമുത്തേ ആഹാ പച്ചപ്പനന്ദത്തെ പുന്നരപ്പൂമുത്തേ പൊന്നില്ലൻ പൂങ്കഴലേ പച്ചപ്പനന്ദത്തെ പുന്നാരപ്പൂമുത്തി പൊന്നൻ പൂങ്കരലേ ഉച്ചക്ക് നീയത്ത് കൊച്ചു വാരത്തോപ്പൽ വന്നുവ പൂങ്കരലേ പച്ചപ്പനന്ദത്തെ
പുന്നാരപ്പൂമുത്തേ പൊന്നല്ലിൻ പൂങ്കരളേ.
So that was it. തെയ്യന്നും പാടന്നു പാടത്തു നീയന്നു പാടരകേ കൊയ്യന്നു കൊയ്യറുവാലിന്നു കിക്കില് പെയ്യന്നു പാട്ട് പാട പച്ചപ്പനന്ദത്തെ പുന്നാരപ്പൂമുത്തെ പൊന്നില്ലൻ പൂങ്കരലേ കൊച്ചിക്കു നീ എൻ്റെ ഒച്ചി തണുപ്പം So
Next time
that
I
was
will
it.
do it.
And
Okay.
sorry for my, you know,
Okay.
this.
Next time I will do it.
Excellent, sir. Excellent.
So beautiful.
Beautiful.
So
Very sweet.
beautiful.
Lovely.
And
Sorry, it was not my
Prasanna,
mother tongue. It is
Beautiful.
Malayalam, so I couldn't, I just
Lovely.
tried to justify it.
Sounded so, so beautiful.
it's your Sarvagun Sampanna. Sarvagun Sampanna,
I
Prasanna.
know.
Everything. You can sing, you
Thank
can
you, ma'am.
recite in so many languages. You make us all so happy. Thank you so much. God bless
Yeah,
you.
thank you very, very much. Beautiful.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Shalini, ma'am. Thank you, Sridharan sir, for
Yes.
inspiring. Thank you, Roopali, ma'am. Thank you, Prasanna, sir. And yes, now let me call upon our next poet without wasting much of your time. Our next poet is one who is he's Soumen Roy, his name is, and he recently released a book, and he's a beautiful writer. And he's budding writing, maybe I think, but yes, he released 2 books. Soumen Roy, yeah. Go ahead, Soumen. So
A very good evening, and I'm very happy to see all of you. And it seems the world is very a small place. Could see all of the different places over there. Thank you for inviting me, Brain and Cindy, and my heartfelt gratitude to all of you. So my poem is A Smile, a Gift of Healing. So I request all of you to smile, please smile for the sake of life, and please don't smile on others. So keep smiling. Smile, a gift of healing. Sailing the boat of life in tidal waves. Open the window and smiling craves. The gestures of smile doesn't cost a penny. Coping thy tidal tracks of cherry and envy. Residual of life peeps from the grave and mock. Swims the waves of home worth the cost. Clutches of veneration strapped with the AIDS soothing. Smile of warmth heals with gestures of concern. So very caring, swallow thy poison with strokes of smile. Nourishing the wounds, thirsty flows the Nile. Roars of ocean thrashing coastal sides. Oars of resolute catering methods and vibes, stimulating smile, ruling thy conceived whole, leading with impetus as an absolute whole, chins of vision, nursing, action, tears gushing, the meadows of flow flashing, a robust mansion. Thank you. Keep smiling.
excellent, excellent, Soumen. Thanks for coming after a long gap. Yes, please do come and please, shower your, verses and showcase. We love to hear them. So, thank you, Soumen. Thank you. Up next, yes, he's a poet. He's a, fresh out graduate. Is from Nepal. Kumar Ghimire. Kumar Ghimire. Kumar. Kumar, please turn on your mic. Kumar, please turn on your mic. Are you there? Yeah, please turn on your mic. Unmute your mic. Okay, okay, let me call upon Franchesa. Franchesa,
Sir,
good to
I am
see you.
reciting.
Love to have you back after a long gap. Yeah, please, Franchesa, go ahead.
Hi. I was going to say that it's been a very wonderful week of celebrating women. And I'm so happy that everyone is agreeing on that, that it's a very nice time for us to be able to see each other and be together. And when I think about the strength of women, I have a poem about my mother and grandmother who were both single mothers, not by their own fault, but there's no shame in that now. And sometimes people do have to raise their children on their own. So whether it be mothers or fathers or other people that raise other people's children. But we all have mothers, of course, or we wouldn't be here. My mother's last question: where is my father? Born to a single mother in the 1940s, I slept in her bed through school. Where is my father? Memories of grandpa and I fishing in the pond, a big smile across his face. Grandma brushed my hair, blonde curls, humming Amazing Grace. Where is my father? Thought the best thing was to marry. Turns out, I married a cruel man, an evil man. Where is my father? One day, the evil man died of cancer, and I thought I was free. Little did I know the cancer was growing and hiding inside of me. Where is my father? I knew the cancer would grow and grow. While searching for my father, I am dying to know, where is my father? That was for my mom because she couldn't really write that after she was passed, but she wanted me to write. And I just felt like it was a good time to do that for her, especially since it was in a Vanderbilt University book that they published it in. What I want people to know is that a song that I mentioned in there, I will sing a little bit because I know that you like. So I'll just do a little hum version of it. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. That's some old Appalachian music here from our country. A lot of people go and they used to sing this as tradition on Sunday mornings. So thought I'd share that with you as well because that was part of that heritage. Can't wait to meet some of you in future because I plan to travel as much as I can to see you guys or you guys to come to us. But anyways, enjoy your Sunday morning and thank you so much for your beautiful songs and words. I love all of you and especially the women that have brought us into this world and given us the strength, the hope, and the glory to keep going. We love you.
Thank you, Franchesa. Thank you. Yes, we loved your rendition. I mean, soulful, and yes, life puts us, a plethora of challenges, I would say. Sometimes it is very difficult to, understand, to get the fact, digest the facts, the reality, or sometimes, yes, through these medium, we think we could, share and understand those things, and we could, lighten up ourselves, lighten our hearts. So, anyways, thanks for coming, Franchesa, and please do come, and we miss you a lot, and please do come. Yeah, Kumar, are you ready? Where is Kumar? Kumar has gone, and now let me call upon. Yes, she is managing, she is a educationist, she is managing a wonderful literary forums back at in Northeast Assam, and a beautiful, state, beautiful, people, wonderful people, and beautiful language. She is a great supporter of these platforms, literary platforms. She is an ardent lover of literature. I would take the pleasure of inviting Bharati Hazarika, ma'am. Ma'am, mic is yours, floor is yours. You could just bang on.
Thank you, Prasanna. Good evening to everyone. I am though not regular. I love your